a street course in Chicago, flooding, didn't think it was going to happen, and then did end up happening, and then Noah Gragson ran into the wall 4 different times with the Baconator car, and then NBC trolled him with the Baconator ad while he was in the wall with the Baconator car, and that was basically the Chicago street race. Oh, and a first-time Cup Series starter won in his first Cup Series race, so that's about what NASCAR wanted, except for the rain part. That's the one thing they probably could have done without. I think everybody could have done without, but you know, it made for a pretty cool race. This was history in the making. The Chicago street course. There was a camera shot. There was a camera shot that was showing, like, I saw a Ferris wheel, and I think I saw the Chicago Pier, like, in the background, and I was like, holy crap, that's the NASCAR 9 Chicago Pier track, just right over there. The fantasy track. I saw a shot. I don't know if that's real or not. Was that track based off a real location? I swear I saw a Ferris wheel, and I saw something that looked like a pier. I don't know. I've never been to Chicago, so I don't know. But all my Chicago fellow people, or people have been to Chicago, let me know if that's actually true. But yeah, this was crazy. It's, you know, literally closing down streets in Chicago. I kind of do feel bad for some of the people in the city that, you know, the traffic has probably been uprooted or something a little bit. But guess what? Who cares? It was a fun event, except for the rain. The rain was, yeah, not ideal. In my preferred, you know, way of this race, I would have preferred a nice sunny day, because, you know, all the concerts got canceled, all the pre-race activities got canceled, all the, you know, track engagements got canceled. And whether you guys care about that or not, you know, one of the biggest facts about bringing NASCAR to Chicago and having the Chicago street course and trying to attract that younger audience is everything that happens off of the track. And basically none of that was able to happen. So that was a big blow. So I would love to see this race come back next year, and hopefully for those pre-race activities to actually happen this time around, because I think that was a very big deal that NASCAR was not able to do for both Saturday and Sunday, because, you know, Saturday there was rain involved, Sunday there was rain involved, you know, and not just a little bit of rain, we're talking about torrential downpours, so it just wasn't possible to do anything. So that was the negative side, but the positive side is that, you know, eventually the rain stopped, and with NASCAR's very quick track drying process, didn't matter how much rain there was to get it relatively to a point where it's raceable with the rain tires. So the first about 20 laps was with the rain tires, where they switched over to the slick tires, and then you kind of had mixed conditions for the remainder of the race, because there were always parts of the track that didn't have the dry line. It felt awesome. Honestly, I really like this style of NASCAR race, a street race with mixed conditions. It becomes very hectic and very chaotic, but it takes a lot of skill in order to drive your race car and to be able to pass and to be able to not crash. And we saw so many guys crash, including Noah Gragson, not once, not twice, not 3 times. I don't even know how many times he crashed, but he crashed a lot of times, all in turn 6, I think it was. So yeah, Noah, not the best there. But hey, if I was in that car, I would have probably crashed every single lap too. So, you know, I have nothing to say. But overall, the mixed conditions really made this a very entertaining race. I wonder what it would have been like if it was completely dry. I think it would have still been similar to this, because, you know, drivers were learning the track. People would still, you know, lock up, wheel hop, you know, slide. I still think that would have happened. You had the tire barriers all over the place where people were literally getting stuck. You know, Kyle Busch got stuck in that tire. And that's what would bring out the full course caution, is when, you know, if it wasn't Noah Gragson, it was someone else getting stuck in the tire barrier. And what was that going to happen with dry tires? Well, we saw in qualifying. I mean, we saw that, right? We saw Chase Elliott clip the inside wall, and boom. We saw, I think, Suarez ended up crashing into. Who else was it? William Byron hit the wall a little bit. Kevin Harvick. I mean, I'm trying to think of just names off the top of my head that all just ended up crashing either on Saturday or Sunday. You know, on Sunday, it was Mark Truex Jr. having brake issues. I think brake issues was a very big deal as well. I think a lot of people were struggling with brakes, which was not a surprise because of how heavy braking zone the street course was. And that's something you always have to know about with the street course, is how just heavy, you know, these are not Indy cars and these are not Formula One cars. These are heavy stock cars. When you want to take a heavy stock car down a straightaway and then tell them to make a 90-degree corner, you know, 3 or 4 times, that's going to be a little bit difficult with the braking. So it's a good layout. I like the track. I want to see it a few more times. I wouldn't say after today that I think it's here to stay. I do think it's a good start. I want to see it about 2 more years. I want to see a full weekend without weather issues. With the pre-race engagement, do fans continue to turn up in Chicago for that race? That's what I want to see. That's what I would like to see. And then, they have all the analytics in the bottom, right? You can see how many people that bought the ticket it's their first time. I think I saw a stat that it was about 70% of the people that bought tickets. It was their first ever NASCAR race, because you could tell, names, email addresses, all that stuff. You can know if they've bought tickets before, and 70% of them didn't. So I want to see that kind of stuff. Do they come back? So for this experiment, I think you need to come back 2 or 3 more times. Now, there's a lot of political stuff. Will the mayor want it back and blah, blah, blah. I don't, whatever. All that crap that you have to deal with. But for NASCAR's sake, I would like to see it back a few more times. In terms of the race, there were a few guys like I actually want to talk about, man. Christopher Bell and Tyler Reddick specifically. 2 guys I thought were really, really fast all day. We'll talk about SVG in a second. But 2 guys I thought were really, really fast all day, and they got screwed, man. They got screwed. So obviously, a lot of cautions. Caution take a while to get going. The darkness was coming, so NASCAR to shorten the race. They shortened it by 25 laps. But the timing that they did that was screwed up, man. It was screwed up. I don't know about that one. Yeah, it's just a little bit unfortunate that they did that, because it messed up with the race. It really did. It put 9 guys that were basically running at the back the majority of the day, and it put them up to the front. Guys like Justin Haley, guys like Chase Elliott, William Byron, Austin Dillon, all those guys got up to the front. They didn't really deserve to be there. They just got really lucky with NASCAR shortening the race. And when they shortened the race, the majority of the field had stayed out because they're racing to lap 100. Now, when you're racing to lap 75 and you come down pit lane on lap 47, you can make it, that's it. So you have to come down pit lane under caution. You lose that track position. And then it's like, oh, it's only 9 cars. But at this track, you need your track position. And then you have the parking lot incident where William Byron goes off the track, and then there's literally a parking lot at the Chicago Street Course, and Bell and all of them are caught up in it. The guys that were running up towards the front all day got caught up in that mess. And that is really frustrating. If I'm Christopher Bell and his team, I'm really, really angry with NASCAR. I just think that's, you could say it's luck and stuff, but man, that's race manipulation right there. It's pretty bad. That's where, Formula One has this thing, right, where a race has to be, completed within 2 hours. So even if, teams are going, let's say, it's a situation where it's going to go over those 2 hours, teams can kind of know that there's only this amount of time left in the race. They know that for a fact. No matter what, they kind of don't even need Formula One to tell them before they switch over to the clock. For this one, it was a complete guessing game. You didn't know if NASCAR was going to call it, because NASCAR doesn't have that rule. They don't have that. This race has to be completed in a certain amount of time. So I don't know. It's just a weird little. I feel dirty kind of talking about it because it feels wrong. I feel really bad for guys like Christopher Bell and Reddick and all those guys that got trapped like that. And they ran up front all day, and they did everything they were supposed to do, and they held their track position, and they dominated the race. And to get screwed like that is really, really annoying. I don't know. That bothers me. I don't know how you could change it, because it was obviously NASCAR's not going to plan going to the darkness and stuff. So yeah, I don't know. That really sucked for them. Let's talk about the winner of the race, Shane Van Gisbergen. I've been struggling with that name all the time. I don't watch Australia Supercars, guys, so I apologize. But SVG, 80 wins in Australian Supercars, 3-time champion, comes over to NASCAR for the Project 91. And when Project 91 was announced, guys, I told you I was very excited about this. I wanted to see drivers from all over the world kind of come in. And I don't know much about SVG, and I don't know much about Australian Supercars. I just don't. I've never really been introduced to that. I've obviously heard of Australian Supercars. I've obviously seen Australian Supercars. I've been exposed to it, but I haven't really been super exposed to it. I haven't really watched much stuff because obviously I'm just not going to. It's in Australia. And so I didn't know much about the drivers over there either. But SVG comes over to NASCAR. He's fast off the bat. And I think the next-gen car has a lot to do with it. When we were talking about the next-gen car, we were talking about how it looks very similar to an Australian supercar. So it's not a surprise that SVG comes in at a racetrack that everyone's new at. So it's not like it's not like he is lacking experience, because all the other drivers in the field have never been at a track like this. It's NASCAR's literal first street course. It's the first one. Like they have not. There's no experience for anyone. You know, they have experience with the cars, but for the track, no. So SVG, you know, just has to get the car underneath them a little bit. But with the similarities to that Australian supercar, he was quick. He was quick all weekend long. He was running in the top 5 for the majority of the race. And that strategy, you know, the shortening of the shortening of the race screwed him over too. But he was able to, so like he said in his post-race interview, he was able to full send it on a couple of guys, get up through the pack. And remember, the race had single file restarts the whole race, because of obviously the you know, only one dry line. The whole track wasn't dry, so you're not going to do double file restarts. So he had to make passes, he had to send it. And he did an extremely good job. And Project 91 is already a success, you know, with Kimi Räikkönen coming in driving it. Now you have SVG coming in running it and winning in his first ever Cup Series race. And now you really get to think about and dream. This is a huge result, really, for NASCAR as a worldwide sport, because it's not worldwide, but like, for the possibility of getting drivers from around the world. And there are a few ones that I dream of. Trust me, I dream of getting a few of them in there. That there's an opportunity here if you want to come try NASCAR and be in a competitive ride with Trackhouse Racing, with Justin Marks and that team. You will be in a competitive ride, and you will have a chance. You get to, you know, work with them, pick your track, pick your race date, pick your discipline. Do you want to do a super speedway? Do you want to do a road course? Do you want to do a short track? Do you want to do an oval? How do you want to do it? When do you want to do it? And make the deal and come over. And there are legends out there in other disciplines. I mean, I'm still dreaming of the day Lewis Hamilton, you know, comes over and gives NASCAR a shot. What if Max Verstappen gives NASCAR a shot? You know, these guys, just for one race, it'd be really cool to see them come over and be competitive. So it's a huge day for Project 91, for NASCAR, for SVG. And he even dropped that little hint in his post-race interview that he might actually come over and do it. He said he's going to do one more year over in Australian supercars, and then he'd like to come over to NASCAR. Now, I don't know if he really meant that, if it was just heat of the moment, but if he actually does come over with the amount of road courses that are on the circuit now, if he could get the oval racing down, damn, you never know, man. Like, it'd be really cool to see him. Now, he would have to get a ride and everything and stuff like that, and would it be as competitive? Because, you know, he probably wouldn't be with Trackhouse Racing, so how would that go? It would be really interesting. But yeah, huge win for him. Seriously, very good job. Really good race, honestly. If I want to just give my overall opinion, it was entertaining, it was chaotic, it was what I thought Chicago Street Course was going to be. I enjoyed it, I liked it, but I want to see that off the track stuff and the hype and everything. I want to see a little bit more of that, obviously, when it's not pouring torrential rain. So we're gonna have to do that next year. You can see the results on the screen. You have SVG, Justin Haley, Chase Elliott in the top 3. The results gonna be a little bit weird. Remember, the guys that are running up towards the front, you know, they got kind of screwed. So there's gonna be a lot of guys towards the back. But SVG was one of the main guys up the front that was able to get back up there and win. He deserves it 100%. Justin Haley, Chase Elliott. Chase Elliott was awful all day. Somehow finishes 3rd. But hey, like I said, those 9 guys are able to stay out. Justin Haley benefited. Chase Elliott benefited. Kyle Larson, Kyle Busch, Austin Cindric, Michael McDowell, Joey Logano, Ty Gibbs with another top 10 finish. I'm just saying, man. It's not going to be this year, but this is a very good sign. I'm going to keep saying this every time I see Ty Gibbs in the top 10. This is a very good sign for 2 to 3 years down the line. This guy, I'm telling you, man, this guy is going to be really good. Really good if he just continues doing this, continues learning, continues the success, continues just consistency. I'm telling you, he's going to be good. Chris Buescher in 10th. Denny Hamlin had a crazy day. Denny Hamlin starts on pole, loses the lead on lap 1 because he's like really easy going into turn 1, and Tyler Reddick just drove around the outside. He dumped Alex Bowman because he lost control of his car. He drove into the tire barriers. Yeah, but he ended up finishing 11th. So, like I said, if you watched his race, that was the epitome of the Chicago Street Course race, and it was just craziness. Still comes out with an 11th place finish for the number 11 car. But, oh, Lord, he had some incidents. He had some craziness. He was all over the place. Eric Almirola in 12th. He also wrecked. William Byron literally drove off the track, finished in 13th. He was the one that kind of, started the whole traffic jam incident. Corey LaJoy, 14th. Ryan Preece, Eric Jones, AJ Allmendinger, Christopher Bell in 18th. Man, that hurts. Woo, that hurts for Christopher Bell in 18th. Todd Gilliland, 19th. Chase Briscoe in 20th. Jensen Button was in the field, and he was running up in the top 10 early part of the race, but then he got spun around by, I don't remember who spun him around. Was it Chris Buescher maybe? I don't remember exactly, but he got spun around coming out of the start finish straight. Ross Chastain 22nd, and then the rest of the results. You have Daniel Suarez down there, Tyler Reddick, Kevin Harvick is down here, Bubba Wallace involved in incidents, Martin Truex Jr.'s brakes basically failing, Ryan Blaney in incidents, Austin Dillon in second place, choking and crashing while in second place. So yeah, and Alex Bowman as well with incidents along the way, but then an engine failure as well. So crazy race. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Did you guys enjoy it? Did you guys like it? What did you think? Any complaints? Any positives? Any words on any of the drivers? SVG, Chase Elliott, Justin Haley, Christopher Bell, Ty Gibbs, Harvick, Wallace, Blaney, any of these guys, Denny Allen. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. What are your thoughts on Project 91 and everything like that? I want to also give a thank you to everyone for 75,000 subscribers. We reached that, I think, on Saturday. So I said I wasn't going to upload on Saturday, but thank you guys as always. Huge support as always. You guys are the best. Patreon members, subscribers, everyone who follows me on Twitter and Instagram, even though Twitter was down. And now I unfortunately have a blue tick because I thought paying for Twitter Blue would help me get my Twitter back, and then it didn't, and I burned $8, and now I have that blue tick for the next 29 days, which is very annoying. But yeah, just thank you guys seriously for 75,000 subs, and we're gonna continue that journey to 100,000. Enjoy your Sunday night, and I will see you guys tomorrow. And then it's July 4th as well, so I don't know if you guys have a long weekend or what, but enjoy yourselves with your friends and family. Take care of yourselves. I will be uploading tomorrow, normal day for me, and peace out.